The effects of the COVID-19 pandemic continue to negatively impact an already weakened local economy. Millions of jobs have been lost, and the Unemployment Insurance Fund has warned the worst is yet to come. The UIF says it will continue processing claims, COVID-19 claims for April and May until a cut-off date is announced. For an update on the UIF during the COVID-19 pandemic, we cross now live to my colleague Mbalenhle Mthethwa, who's standing by for us. Mbalenhle, tell us more where you are.
Good afternoon, Nompu. Definitely, we have a situation here. We have been moving from, we've been situated across the road, and across the road, that's the Labour Department, where there's a long queue of people, unemployed people, trying to to apply to get their benefits paid out to them. And essentially, we've been speaking to a number of people who say that they've lost their jobs and recently lost their jobs as a result of the national lockdown, as a result of COVID-19. And essentially, we've spoken to others who say that they have been waiting for their TERS benefit payout from the employer, and others say that they haven't been working since the lockdown came into effect in March this year, and they fear that they essentially claim that they've been replaced by casual employees, and yet they've been expected to stay at home while they wait for a payout from the UIF and the TERS. And they say that, if some of them are claiming that, the employers have not really applied on their behalf, even though they claim that they have. And essentially, across the road, there was an even bigger crowd of workers that was gathering outside the offices of political party EFF. These are Prasa, former Prasa employees. They say that they worked for companies that were contracted to Prasa as security guards. Essentially, they initially marched to the offices of Prasa, where they claim to have been shot at and were forced to send back to come here and try and get the assistance of the EFF. They're actually gathered outside the offices of the EFF, and they are here waiting for someone from the EFF to come and address them, and so they can at least try and help them in this situation. But to tell me more about this, I am joined by one of the workers there, Florence Maseba. Please talk to us and tell us why you have decided to come here after you were literally chased away from outside the offices of Prasa.
Thank you. We decided to come here at EFF offices, hoping that we will get assistance here at EFF offices. Since we were shut down there by Prasa, where we were working all those years, now they have to insource us, as they said previously that they are going to insource people. Now is our time to be insourced. They are going outside at Spa, Pick and Pay and whatever, to go and take security officers out there to put them at work while we are busy working here all those years during rain times and storm times. This is painful situation what we are experiencing right now. We went there to ask them about our insourcing that they told us long time ago. So they are shooting us with rubber bullets. We were busy asking them, and they are busy shooting us, all of us. So we decided to come here at EFF to seek for help.
And so you essentially want Prasa to insource you. Are you saying that Prasa has overlooked the workers, the employees who worked for these contractors?
Yes, they terminated all the contractors that were working at the rail all those years. Now they said they're insourcing. Instead of insource us, they just chase out our way like we are dogs, like they don't even know us. We worked for Prasa for a long time ago. I myself work at Prasa 17 years. So now it's time for them to insource me. They are going to other companies, to the streets, and take all those people to come and put them and to insource them. So we want the answers from Prasa that they say they are insourcing. Where is that insourcing?
And what are you hoping will come out of your meeting with the EFF?
We hope that EFF will help us to fight Prasa to insource us, as they said they want to insource. Insourcing is not about metric and whatever. Insourcing is about experience. We got all those things that they're looking for. The insourcing is not all about experience. It's not all about metric. Insourcing is an experience.
Thank you so much. There you have it, Nompu. We have Florence Masebe just speaking to us about the plight of security guards at Prasa who had been employed under contractors who were contracted to Prasa. They essentially come to protest, not necessarily protest, but to take a stand against what they feel is unfair labor practice at Prasa. They're saying that they have not been included in the insourcing process that is, they claim is in the process of taking place right now at Prasa, and they want to be included in those insourcing procedures. Essentially, there's a large group. We saw them coming in drips and drabs. We've been here on the other side of the road since 9 a.m. and we saw this crowd growing in drips and drabs, and this is a very, very big crowd. So that's essentially two very big groups of crowds with people who are unemployed. The other side is the Labour Department, people trying to claim for the UIF benefits, and on this side they are trying to be insourced and trying to get, the political party EFF to intervene in their plight. Essentially, that is what is happening. But I think since the lockdown came into effect, we've been seeing a number of these protests. I can remember going to another company which is situated in Kempton Park, where workers decided to take to the streets because they had claimed that they were not paid out the UIF TERS benefit by their company. And essentially at the time, we understand from a conversation I had with the HR manager there, they said that they had been still waiting for the UIF to pay them the money to them so they could then transfer the funds to the employers. And in a conversation I also had with NTM, which is a union that represented most of those workers, they say that that issue has been resolved, but it seems to be a widespread issue around, the country at this period, where workers essentially have to wait for long periods of time and have to contend with hunger and unemployment essentially while they're waiting for their TERS benefits and UIF benefits to be paid out. Earlier on, I spoke to some other workers who were calling on government officials and those in authority to act swiftly with regards to, bringing a resolution to the issues that they have brought to the forefront. And essentially, they're also saying that they might face unemployment, which is very interesting given that some of these initiatives, such as the TERS initiative, was put in place in order to cushion companies that were struggling and essentially to protect the livelihoods and jobs of people. But essentially, judging from what we're seeing here on the ground, I don't know about the rest of the country, it seems as though, it has done very little with regards to protecting people's jobs and ensuring that people stay within their jobs. But essentially, we understand that the minister has also announced that they will be investigating where the money has gone and tracing the money to ensure that the money did go to those it was intended to. For now, though, Nompu, it's back to you in studio.
Thanks very much, my colleague there, Mbalenhle Mthethwa.